Good morning. So it's Tuesday the 29th of March, and today we're going to be doing full spring lawn maintenance. Now there's a little bit of rain in the air, or there has been, which hopefully won't come to anything. So with that in mind, I actually came in yesterday and got the scarifying done. So this is the lawn in question. Now this lawn has two major faults, or major problems. One is, when it was first built, the guys who did it, and they landscaped the area and they did everything, they compacted this lawn. And I don't know what they used, whether it was a dumper or a digger or whatever, but this lawn is absolutely solid. There is no way any rainwater can penetrate through. And also it's dead flat, so this lawn sits wet the whole time. Now when I first came in, just after the lawn had been created, I raised this point straight away. And I said, you know, really, I'm sure you don't want to start again, but maybe drainage is something to think of. The client at that point didn't want to go down that road. I guess he spent a lot of money creating this lawn. He didn't want to start digging it up. So that's left us with the problem of it always sitting wet during the winter, so lots of moss, which comes in. So I've spent a number of years regularly aerating the lawn, just trying to make it so that the water can drain away from the surface. It kind of works, but it's never going to be as good as drainage. If this was my lawn, I would be looking to dig it up, rotivate it, and then flatten it down, but just not compact it as much as it has been, because it's almost like concrete. The other problem is that they got a dog during lockdown, and as you can see, it has destroyed the lawn. We've been over yesterday, as I say, with the scarifier, and you can see the grooves in here now. Now this is going to create a great seed bed, so when I overseed, the seed's going to drop into these holes and it's going to be in contact with the soil, which is going to be great. And then, so the first pass was to remove any moss and thatch. You know, as you can see here, there's a lot of dead stuff that I've raked out here. Oh, there's a few bits which are still sort of hanging on, but ultimately that's been raked out. So the first job we're going to do today is we're going to remove the dew with a blower, as per usual, and then we're going to take the hollow tine aerator over and we're just going to remove some cores. One, so a little bit of seed can drop in there, but two, to just try and relieve some more compaction. Okay, so lawn has now been aerated, as you can see, hollow tined to remove the compaction. So I've levelled all the low patches, as you can see over there, and all along here. So actually I've pretty much cleared up all the cores, just levelling this little area. So now what we're going to do is, now we've got the seed bed, I'm just going to get the little aerator and just go over the worst patches, just to create more of a seed bed. So now you can see, just by taking the little spiker over, you've just got lots of little holes in there, in and amongst the big holes, and the grooves from the scarifier as well. I have just seeded the lawn. As you can see, the seeds down there. So this This is Rigby Taylor Super Root. A few people have asked me why I use that, and the honest answer is I used it once and I had great results. It's got a little bit of dwarf rye in there, it's got some fescues in there, so obviously Super Root, it germinates really quickly, and it's got everything you need for your average garden lawn. So now I have now I've seeded the lawn, we're now going to feed the lawn. So that again will be with Rigby Taylor fertiliser, and this will be a pre-seed fertiliser, which I think is an 8-12-8. Okay, so we've got the Rigby Taylor fertiliser spreader. Here we go. There it is, Taylor pre-seed fertiliser. Now I've shared this before, and this is one of my top tips when you are fertilising with granular, and that is take your iPod off, your defenders off, whatever, and listen. Okay, I want to know that this is coming out, and I want to know, so when I'm going up the line here, I want to hear it just touching the side. Then I know I'm not missing any bits, and I want to be kind of keep my wits about me, that I'm making sure that it's coming out as I want it, and I want to concentrate and make sure I don't overdose or underdose and miss bits. You can just about make out the scarifying lines amongst all the burnt bits. So these are the lines that I'm going to follow, and this will chuck it out at about 4.5-3 meters. Sorry, 3.5-4 meters. Now just beginning to spit a little bit, which is a bit annoying, so I'm going to press on and go and get the soil. So one of my top tips for top dressing, normally I have the soil in the trailer, but because it's wet, potentially wet, I asked them to put it in the van to keep it dry, and I just put the equipment in the bag. Now one of my main tips when top dressing is obviously you need your soil, you need your wheelbarrow, but bring 2 shovels to the job. One that you're going to top dress with, and one that you're going to fill the barrow up with. That way you haven't got to keep taking the shovel back and forth with you. Okay, so the art is to basically work your way out. Now, when you dress the lawn, you don't want to put it down too deep, because the established grass will struggle to come through, as will the seed. But equally, you want enough that the seed's in contact with the soil, and that also it's just dressing out any blemishes within the soil. So I'll try and show you and demonstrate how I top dress. So you don't want too much on your shovel. And that's just enough there. So as you put the shovel down, you're just going to go up next to where you were. And the idea is that you just butt up next to where you've just put the last shovelful, and then